All right, I can talk about this kind of stuff forever, but I have been going down the rabbit hole of camshafts, and I'm gonna start off by saying this. The best cam that is gonna work for your car. I'm a Mustang, I have a Mustang, I got, whatever, but I like everything. I've always been into diving deep into everything. The cam is the brain. I'm not gonna go into the rabbit hole of explaining how all of that kind of stuff works, but there is a difference between the cam dedicated for a naturally aspirated application, a centrifugal blown application, PD blower application, and a turbo application. Now, someone can go out there and say, hey, I got a BTR stage 3, I'm gonna go from a this and this blower and I'm gonna go turbo. The same cam will more than likely work and you will make more power. That's just the benefit of going turbo. But if you're gonna really try and squeeze everything out of that car and really try and get everything, the best thing that I can suggest for you is stick to the same company. Now, I've been going down the whole of things, and there's two companies that come in mind when I talk in regards of camshaft application. This is stuff that I've personally gone back and forth with, and that is cammotion and BTR. Granted, there's other places like GPI, there's other places that make their own cams and everything, but I'm talking in regards of just two mainstream places, and I want to talk about them. And if you use the same method, you can talk to other companies and then get your stuff back on the road. Because I'll put a link down in the description of a few interviews I've been listening to with Brian Tooley, BTR Brian Tooley Racing, and he goes into all the different nuances, R&D and everything else. And there's companies like Texas Speed that also go through the same process, because even when Texas Speed first started, before this whole bandwagon thing, it was nothing on their Instagram but just LSA cam dyno testing, this and this and this and this and this, which is cool. I'll throw Texas Speed in there too, being that they're local. So it's all about what is going to be working for you, and the best cam that you're going to make best work for your application is the person that you're going to be talking to from the beginning to the end. For example, the 5.3 that I want to put my two-door, I would love to put an LSA blower 5.3 on it. If I punch out the 5.3 to make it whatever cubic inches or whatever, or if it's a 6 liter or whatever. But the way you got to go about a cam is starting from the ground up. The information I'll relay to the company, hey, I got this motor, I got this blower. It's gonna go in this car that weighs this much. I plan on staying with a stock converter, and I got this rear gear. It's gonna be a mild setup. I don't wanna go out and race it. I just wanna have fun with it. I want it. Torque is gonna be my priority. Sound can come after. And that's the biggest thing about a cam. Everyone thinks that the harder the chop, the better performing cam you're gonna get. When it goes into even a turbo application, you can hear in the interview with BTR that the exhaust valve opening point determines so much in the spool of the turbo. And you can even go farther into it and talk to guys like Tom Nelson and get some of their insight on everything, and really figure out what's gonna go on and just see what goes on in an engine that's gonna make really good power, reliable power. This is another thing that I'm going to say to find out the best cam is going to work for you is actually talk to people. There's so many people that rely on social media. They're like, hey, these people didn't hit me up. Their cams suck because they didn't reply to my message or they didn't like my comment. You got to leave all that stuff out of it. And this is why to me, when it comes down to the old school, and if it really does come down to the old school, and you take away people's sponsorships and connections and this and the glory of it, you're going to lose a lot of people that want to do stuff for clout. But I truly like this stuff for what it is. I've been around it since I was 4 or 5 years old. Nothing is going to change it. Even if I end up having to sell all my cars and live in whatever, I will still hear like a random car in the background just getting it, and I'm just gonna listen to it. And that, I mean, whatever, go see a race even if I don't have a car. Even when I didn't have the Mustang, I was out always doing stuff, just being around cars. Holy hell, they are living in that thing. So that's my biggest advice that I can give to someone, is that if you are looking for the best cam for your application, for one, you need to find out what your goal is with the car. Because a lot of people come in blind. A lot of people come in, you gotta know where you're at in the ballpark. Are you swinging that shit? Are you coming out king dingling, you know, I don't care? Then do your due diligence and get with someone that's gonna work with you and make it work. If you know you're not gonna go super crazy with this car, but you can't afford to put a cam in it and you know, this and that, do your due diligence and make sure you find out what the best one is gonna be for you. Because if you end up buying a cam that's too big, or a cam that's that really doesn't suit your application, you got the stage 4 and your stock converter, stock tires, stock exhaust manifold, old tired 4L60E. It may sound good, but for what you want to do with it and have a little cam in your truck, you just went about it all wrong. The biggest thing, and this is coming from guys from up top that I always listen to, someone like Tom Nelson said, you have to leave your ego aside and ask for help. And that's what a lot of people don't do. And I'll even say it when it comes to speccing the cam. Yeah, I could help someone out if it comes down to it, and I want to do my own. Ooh, there we go, C7, give me a little bit of action. And it comes down to it, and like if I had to make one, I'm pretty sure I can make one work. Now listen to what I'm saying. I said I'm pretty sure. So there's all kinds of people that have been out here doing this forever. This stuff has been around so long. If you have some theory in your head, there's nothing wrong with going it over with someone. Like, hey, I think this, if we manage to make something with this overlap, but have this and do this with this manifold, do you think it'll work? Relay that information to the person you're trying to talk to, and they're going to tell you, hey man, we've done it in testing, and you know what, in theory it sounds like it's going to work, but it doesn't. It's diminishing gains and this and that. So okay, they're just going to stop in the middle of the traffic and let me go, whatever that is. So get with the people that are going to take care of you. And if you're going to be jumping here and there, and I want this cam and that cam, what it's going to suck is that you never realize who may actually be watching what you're doing, because it could be either a company, it could be someone just watching on the inside, and when they get notion or a hint of you coming over, and you do have a big following, a big clout following, they're more likely probably not going to work with you because of how jumpy jippy you are, you know. So when it comes to cams, there is so much that goes on to it. And you know, there's a few guys out there that one guy right now, one of my buddies I haven't really talked to, Justin, you know, I think he has a 416 in his CTSV, and he had a Kong 2650, but he's planning to go turbo now. His car is going to make power regardless. It's really going to do it. But I can almost guarantee you that if someone like that, and I'm not knocking his build or anything, but if he were to probably get in contact with someone like BTR about the cam that he has in it right now versus what he's going to, I guarantee you BTR will probably set him up with a different cam, and cam for cam, he probably will leave another 40 or 50 wheel on the table. And that's not even including the overall torque you're going to make. So that's what I have to say about that. There's so much stuff that can go into making a cam work for your setup. The thing about the LS stuff, when you compare it to like the Mustang stuff is super finicky. You have to have the right parts in it to make sure what you're gonna have is gonna work. With the LS stuff lends itself to, you know, making power. It's essentially easier, but if you were to give an LS the same treatment you would as a Coyote guy that is very particular with his parts, very particular with how he wants his setup to work. Guarantee you're gonna get some pretty good results out of it. Because the way I see it right now with the LS world is that everybody just, you know, I mean, they leave meat on the table, but there's also companies that do a really good job. Like, I love watching what RPM does, Race Proven Motorsports do, with their cars, because they do a good job at squeezing everything they can out of those setups. But the general notion that everyone else has about LS stuff is a typical Chevy mentality that, oh, you know, I'm gonna put this and it's just gonna work. This is a Chevy motor. Chevy runs deep. Whatever. Okay, I don't care. You know, that's my 2 cents about that. Again, I could talk about this forever. I literally had conversations with my buddies for hours and hours on this, but that's what I say. Get in contact with the people that you know are going to take care of you, and do not go out and just try and pair up with a company because of clout, or, you know, whatever the case is, because it's I hate looking at stuff like that. And even if a company isn't going to give you a discount, freaking buy their stuff anyway. This world is so freaking weird that everybody expects a discount on everything. Like, you, the person that's watching this, if you were to start a business, do you want other people hitting you up for discounts when you just started? Not really. You kind of work on the other end of it with it and make up for it on the customer service side of things. Because I'm not gonna lie, and I'll straight up say it, if you look at the customer service of a company like Whipple versus a company like Mantic, you're kind of on two different ends. Whipple will take care of you, but I think Whipple, being that they're in Fresno, California, and, you know, I know a little bit about the inside of them and know people that have directly, you know, worked with their customer service end, they're okay. But with Mantic, dude, that guy is freaking on it. Now, Mantic is, you know, it's smaller. It's one guy versus Whipple that has a company, you know, front desk, you have a concierge, you have this, you have that. So, you know, there's different places to go back. I love Whipple. I'm not talking crap about on you guys. I would love a Gen 5, please. I would love a Gen 5. A CJ spec Gen 5 Whipple. But yeah, that's what I got to say about that. Have a good one, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Make sure you get the right cam for the car you're going to want, and just it's kind of common sense, you know. It's common sense, guys, but that's not common anymore. So see you guys on the next one.